Arriving at St Pancras Station in London, Britain's Home Secretary unveiled the new UK citizen's identity card. He says its introduction is part of a Labour Party pledge to bring them in.
When we put this to the British people in our manifesto in 2005, there wasn't a word about terrorism, there wasn't a word about those other associated issues, which incidentally this will help. It won't be the whole toolbox, but it'll be a tool to help. What we said to the British public is we will provide identity cards voluntarily as a simple, safe, secure way to prove and protect your identity. That's exactly what we're doing on exactly the timescale that we explained at the time.
And he believes the new cards will help on a number of different fronts.
We live in a world now where identity fraud is at the root of so many different problems. People trafficking, the illicit claiming of benefits. We live in a world where people are increasingly asked to prove their identity, where they have lots of bits of plastic, where they have to produce crumpled gas bills, 6 months worth of bank statements, loads of other things to prove their identity. This is a simple, secure, safe way of doing it. Because of biometrics, you can't have someone else stealing that identity. And identity fraud costs us £1.2 billion and rising. Very important asset in the 21st century, which is why 24 out of 27 EU countries are producing the same thing.
Despite opposition from some people, he says there's support for the new national ID cards.
This has been consistently supported by the public. It was supported by the public at the manifesto that elected us in 2005. It was actually supported by the Conservatives at the time, so their machinations are something only they can explain. But when we test the British public, every time we test them, overwhelmingly they say, yeah, well, absolutely, we want these cards. We think this is a good idea, which is why the people of Manchester, where we'll start in the autumn, I believe will be very, very keen to get hold of an identity card for the reasons I've explained.
And he brushed aside claims the ID cards were to be scrapped because they were vitally important in the modern world.
It would be absolutely mad in the 21st century, where we have biometric technology now, where we're changing every passport over to biometric. All political parties support that, which can be used as your identity card if you want to use your new biometric passport. Where identity fraud is rife and where people have to prove their identity over and over again, it would be madness not to proceed to use that new technology to produce such a handy, safe, secure card that goes in with all the other bits of plastic that most people carry around. It's a no-brainer.
The cards, which cost £30 each, will be available in Manchester by the end of the year, with a rollout of the programme across Britain by 2012.